Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to hear a little bit about your creative process and what you're working on at the moment. But first, if I could hear a little bit about when you first discovered your creative side. When did you first know that this was something you wanted to pursue? When did you first start creating artwork?
I was really young. I was 6, so I already knew I wanted to do art. I wasn't really that good at it then, but I started practicing, and then I went to high school and yeah, really found I guess my skills and my knowledge started to really grow.
Mm.
I went to university, so yeah, and I studied at Elam, so I carried on there and finished a master's degree. So that's where I basically did most of my learning.
Awesome. Can you tell me a bit about what you're working on at the moment, Sarah?
So I'm doing a painting that looks into my family's history and their journey from India to Trinidad and then to Fiji and then to New Zealand. It's not a story that's often told.
Mm. What have you learnt, Sarah, about your ancestors' journeys through your research for this piece?
So I've learned that, you know, I've learned that maybe some of the thinking or the myths that um, my people have come to believe
Mm.
aren't quite true in my family's situation. They did 2 contracts. One was in Trinidad. After that, they went back to India. Then they took a second contract and went to Fiji, and they stayed there. So I think it was something that was beneficial for them. So they decided to, remain in Fiji and try and build a life.
Are there specific motifs or emotions from what you've learnt that you want to try to capture through this new piece?
Yes, so my artwork has features in it that are from my Indian culture. So some pattern making from both Maori and Indian,
Mm.
and also some the boats that our family came to came to Fiji on.
Mm.
I've tried to illustrate those, and also some of the motifs are to do with like both Trinidad and India and Fijian national flags.
Mm.
So there's lots of symbols incorporated within the work itself.
This kind of melding of cultures that you talk about, being someone yourself who is mixed race, do you feel like these are important stories to tell through art?
Yeah, I think it's my way of expressing
Mm.
the things that I've come to find out.
Mm.
So I think it's an important story that needs to be told because it's one that's not often told, the
Mm.
Fijian Indian history. New Zealand Indian history isn't well recorded. Well, it is well recorded. It's just um, been sort of written out of the history books until recently. So I've been working on this for about 4 years, specifically, but I have been working on like my Indian art and Maori art together for quite some time. But recording my family history is something that I've just come to in the last 4 years, I suppose. Yeah.
I see. Can you tell me a bit about how this piece is going to be presented? Um, like the outcome of it, what it may look like?
Yep, so it's going to be in the form of elephant doors and like an altarpiece. So I've studied art history from a European Western origin for a long time. So early and late Renaissance altarpieces, and I read a lot of comics. So storytelling and narrative have is something that I'm really curious and interested in doing. I'm not a good storyteller, but I would hope that I'll be able to utilize my skills in presenting ideas in art to do that. So
To tell that
yeah, so
story.
it's in the form of a altarpiece that opens with doors, and it's going to be at the National Portrait Gallery next August.
That sounds beautiful. And that pretty much, yeah, was what I wanted to know. So that's when the public can view your new piece, is it?
Yeah, it's on for 3 months. It's part of an exhibition I'm doing with the Shetra Collective. It's a group of uh, artists of New Zealand, artists of Indian origin. Um, yeah, and I'm really excited to exhibit with them. Where we did an exhibition earlier this year that was really successful at the Auckland Museum, and so this is a continuation of that show.
That sounds amazing, Sarah. Thank you so much for allowing me to understand a bit of your insight, and I can't wait to be able to see this new piece in the flesh. All the best for that new piece, eh?
Thank you.
Awesome. Take care, Sarah.